There's something different about you right now. Something subtle but undeniable. Something that pulled you into this exact moment, to these words, to this space and time that feels oddly precise, almost as if it was waiting for you. You didn't stumble here by luck, and this isn't just another video you clicked absent-mindedly. Something deeper, beneath your thoughts, beneath the noise of your daily routine, recognized a signal, a quiet hum that said, "This is for me." You're not here by accident. You've crossed into the threshold of your next chapter, not the shiny, superficial next level that social media glamorizes, but the real one, the one that doesn't announce itself with celebration, but with silence. It arrives quietly, in moments when the noise dies down, when the world stops long enough for you to finally hear what's been whispering your name all along. Maybe you've felt it building for a while now, that uneasy, restless vibration you can't seem to name. The routines that once gave you comfort suddenly feel too small. The thoughts that once grounded you now feel like they're holding you still. You wake up feeling like something is missing, even when everything looks fine on paper. You notice dreams returning, vivid, unsettling, familiar in ways you can't explain. You look around at your world, your choices, your people, your surroundings, and somewhere deep within, a small voice keeps saying, "This isn't it anymore." That voice isn't confusion, it isn't chaos, it's recognition. You're evolving, your system is upgrading, and the old software simply can't run this new energy anymore. The version of you that existed 6 months ago, who made those choices and accepted those limits, is fading. Still part of your story, yes, but no longer the one behind the wheel. Most people wait their entire lives for someone or something to give them permission to rise, to validate their timing, to grant approval for their transformation. They wait for the fear to fade, the stars to align, the perfect moment to begin. But here's the truth that most never realize. Your next level doesn't wait for you to be ready. It arrives when you're trembling, when you're uncertain, when you're still carrying fragments of who you used to be. You don't ascend when life feels perfect. You ascend when you stop demanding perfection as a prerequisite. The leap happens when you stop needing guarantees, when you stop waiting for clarity, when you're brave enough to step into the dark, trusting that the light will meet you one step at a time. Think about the last few months, the choices that surprised even you, the conversations that cracked you open in ways you didn't expect, the boundaries you set that once terrified you, the things you walked away from, even when logic told you to stay, the nights you cried but still didn't turn back, the mornings you rose and chose yourself anyway. Those weren't accidents. Those were initiations. Each one was a test from the part of you that knew this moment was coming. Every time you honored your truth instead of your image, every time you chose alignment over acceptance, you were building the foundation for the frequency you're standing in now. Because the next level isn't a place, it's a frequency. It's not somewhere you go, it's something you become. It's a shift in perception that lets you see openings where others see barriers, possibility where others see risk. It's not about what you gain, it's about what you release. And sometimes that release feels like loss. The friends who no longer feel aligned, the habits that once felt comforting but now feel heavy, the stories you used to tell yourself just to survive. Letting go of the familiar always feels like breaking, but really it's a clearing, because your comfort zone isn't made of places, it's made of patterns, thoughts, beliefs, and fears disguised as safety. That voice inside that whispers, "You're not enough yet. You're not ready yet." That voice gets loud right before you ascend, not because it's right, but because it's afraid. It's trying to protect you from what it can't predict. But the unknown is where your next self already lives. Pay attention to what's been happening lately, the coincidences that feel too perfect to ignore, the people who show up saying exactly what you needed to hear, the ideas that keep circling back, refusing to let go, the subtle rearranging of your environment. This isn't randomness. This is resonance. The universe is reorganizing itself to match your new frequency. Everything around you is responding to the vibration you've begun to hold. As you expand, old structures begin to dissolve. People fade. Paths shift. Opportunities multiply. What no longer aligns begins to fall away effortlessly. What does align begins to find you without force. This is how energy works. As within, so without. Change your inner landscape, and your outer world has no choice but to reflect it. You might have noticed that things which once consumed you now barely touch you. The drama that once drained you now feels irrelevant. The problems that used to tower over you now appear smaller, easier to manage. Life didn't necessarily get lighter. You did. You've been strengthening your inner foundation. You've been learning how to stay grounded while everything shifts. You've stopped seeking peace and control and started finding it in trust. That's growth. That's transformation. Because the next level doesn't ask for more of what you have. It asks for more of who you are. It invites you to embody strength, patience, and clarity that no storm can shake. And this new phase comes with responsibility. The responsibility to use what's within you. Your voice, your gifts, your story. The responsibility to stop hiding behind humility and start honoring the power you carry. Every heartbreak, every loss, every night you thought you couldn't make it. All of that wasn't punishment. It was preparation. You were being shaped to hold more light, to carry greater purpose. Those experiences carved space inside you for depth, for compassion, for authenticity. You weren't being broken down. You were being built into someone unshakable. Most people think leveling up means accumulating. More money, more success, more validation. But the real next level is about becoming more aligned, more truthful, more awake to who you've always been beneath the noise. It's stepping into a version of yourself that no longer begs for approval because you've finally remembered your worth. You've already seen glimpses of this new you. In the moments when you spoke your truth, when you listened to your intuition instead of fear, when you chose integrity over comfort. Each of those moments was practice, training, proof that your higher self has been leading the way. And if you've noticed people reacting differently to you lately, that's not random either. Some are drawn closer, magnetized by the light you're beginning to radiate. Others are pulling away, not because they dislike you, but because your energy reminds them of their own resistance to change. It's natural. It's part of the rearrangement. The relationships meant to grow with you will adapt. The ones that can't will fade, clearing space for new connections that resonate with where you're headed, not where you've been. Your work, your passion, even your dreams might feel different now. What once excited you may now feel too small. The places you used to fit might now feel like cages. That's not a crisis. It's expansion. You're outgrowing what was built for a smaller version of you. Trying to stay there will only suffocate your evolution. You can't wear the old identity anymore. It doesn't stretch with your new spirit. This discomfort you feel is the space between your potential and your reality catching up. You're also learning to listen to a new kind of voice, your inner compass. It doesn't shout. It doesn't demand proof. It speaks softly, guiding you through instinct and resonance. You're beginning to know the difference between the voice of wisdom and the voice of worry, between the quiet pull of intuition and the noise of anxiety, between what's calling you forward and what's trying to keep you still. That guidance has always been there. You just couldn't hear it through the static of expectations. Now that the static is fading, the signal is clear. The opportunities showing up for you now feel different too, don't they? They're not just about success, they're about purpose. They don't just tempt you with reward, they invite you into responsibility. Because the next level doesn't give you gifts for decoration, it gives them for activation. You're being handed influence, resources, and reach not to inflate your ego, but to expand your impact. The universe doesn't promote you for status, it promotes you for service. And with that comes a truth many avoid. Your tolerance for half-truths, for mediocrity, for shallow distractions will vanish. Conversations that once entertained you will now feel empty. Situations that once fit will feel wrong in your bones. You're not being difficult, you're being honest. When your vibration rises, everything not aligned with it becomes uncomfortable. That's how you know you're evolving. When peace feels more satisfying than approval. When authenticity feels more necessary than belonging. The next level requires integrity, radical honesty with yourself, It asks you to admit where you've been playing small, where you've let fear masquerade as logic, where you've accepted comfort instead of courage. It's confronting, but liberating, because when you take responsibility for your life, you reclaim your power to change it. That's the trade-off. Responsibility for freedom. And freedom is the ultimate reward. So here's the truth. The next level isn't waiting for you to earn it. It's been waiting for you to remember it was always yours. You've been preparing for this moment longer than you realize. Every breakdown, every turning point, every breath that carried you through pain was sculpting you into someone capable of holding what's arriving now. If these words found you today, it's not coincidence. It's confirmation. You're ready. Not because everything is perfect, but because you are finally aligned. Aligned with truth, aligned with purpose, aligned with the self you've been meeting in your dreams. The next level isn't somewhere else. It's here. It's this awareness, this courage, this decision to stop running and start rising. You're not becoming someone new. You're remembering who you've always been. You're not looking for your power. You're reclaiming it. You're not waiting for your story to begin. You're finally stepping into it. The next level was never a destination. It's a realization. And you, right here, right now, you've arrived. Welcome home.